Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Isles of Sea and Sky, where I have been running around raging Volcano Island here, looking for, trying to make absolutely sure I'm not missing any statues, trying to see if I think there is any way into tile B3 to figure out what we need there. And I'm pretty sure the answer is we can't do this yet. I'm reasonably sure there's no way to access B3 without being able to walk over lava somehow, and we don't have that ability. And part of the problem with this design, and I don't think it's a huge problem, but it does lead to some extra frustration, is that because it's an open world puzzle solving game where you are accumulating powers, like if the game was not open world, if it was more linear in its design, then when you got to a puzzle, you would know, I must have the things I need to solve this puzzle. There could be red herrings, there could be trickery here, but like, if I can get here, I can solve it, right? And if it was a game where you weren't picking up new powers, where it was entirely, the problem was entirely knowledge-based, like a lot of sort of recent puzzle games have been, The Witness, whatever, you would know that, okay, there's a way to figure this out, but maybe I don't know it yet. Maybe it would be helpful to leave and come back. With so many of the puzzles in this game being explicit power-based, it's very difficult to know when you arrive at a puzzle whether or not it is even possible for you to solve it, whether trying stuff is wasting your time. And so it's really easy to just like burn a bunch of time getting frustrated at a thing you couldn't do, no matter how clever you were about it. I do think that's a bummer. Anyway, my feeling here is that having looked around, I think this is maybe a thing that we're just not prepared for yet. We just don't have whatever power it would take. But while I was running around, I also noticed this just up and to our right. Hey, look at that. Note tile number 4. I wanted to make sure that I was on camera when I got that. I don't think that we know how to play a big song on this island, right? Like the only place we've actually accessed the big music device is the Orange Island, if I'm not mistaken. We probably can still get some of these stars around here, and it's, definitely worth it to acquire 2 more. But I wanted to... Did I make a note of where... Of course I didn't. Where the music playing apparatus was, because we did see it, right? Or I might be thinking of a different island. Because we definitely saw the one on the Blue Gem Island. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter over much, but it's just something I'd like to deal with. Man, B3 has so many paths going out of it. We're just constantly being taunted. All right, let's try to get a couple of stars and head out of here with 30 and get some new stuff done. So, let me not have done that. What are we looking at here? In order to access these gongs, we had to access the brown gong first. Why are you right here? What is the value of this fire elemental? I guess, okay, here's the thing I don't know. I'm not going to be able to hit this again, am I? I was thinking, push the box to here, push the fire elemental up twice, and then hit the fire elemental from the left, causing him to fire a shot, because I don't know if a box being slammed into the green block from the access side will open it or not. But unfortunately, the reality of the situation is I'm not going to be able to get back now, and we don't have enough... We don't have enough, what do you call it? Obsidian blocks to form a bridge on this entire screen, even if we could access the entire one of them that we get. So I'm not sure how one would do this. Do I have to... Maybe I don't push it over first? Maybe you just... But you can only fire him once, right? Yeah, like, at this point, he doesn't have any fireballs left. And I thought I remembered it pushing the box 2 spaces, but it doesn't. So, never mind. The thing I was trying to do there won't work no matter what. If we run up here, we can almost use this guy to clear this situation out. Like if we now fired a, oh, interesting. I didn't realize the elementals would fall in those holes. If we were able to fire one more shot, we could get that guy to fire downward and potentially open the thing up. Open up this path, and then we'd have access to the block, and we could potentially do some other stuff, make some other pathways work. I don't know. If there's a way to walk on lava, it does seem like it would completely trivialize this puzzle, so maybe there isn't one, but like, to show you what the reason I drew that conclusion. Like, the ways onto screen B3 are either the left top path out of this lava, which you can then see on this screen, would require us to be able to walk over lava again, or there are roads out of it to the west and to the east and to the north, and every single one of them is green blocked. Sorry, not that one. One of them is red blocked. And it's in front of a thing that maybe there's a way to push. Okay, if I clumsy. If I push this here, oh wait, well, how am I going to push it down? What was my brilliant plan? I want to use this box to fill up the here we go. Here's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to get out of the way so that we can push this block here so that I can do that. Okay, maybe we can, in fact, access this screen. And here's our big instrument, and here is a statue. What do you know? Let me really quickly click over to my screenshots. Which statue are you, friend? You are yellow. Okay. All right. That is 5. And I feel pretty confident at this point. I've looked at each of these screens so many times. I feel pretty confident that the other statue just isn't on the island. So we're going to try that. We're going to try putting these 5 in place and just moving the other statue off the grid, I guess. Because I don't know what else it could be. So I'm able to get... What is the point of a lot of the stuff on this screen? I would need to ring all of the gongs to open up the left area. Oh, and I see the pegs for playing the instrument are on the left and right side, so I need the elementals to play along that way. Okay. So how would I make this work? Okay, you don't get moved, right? I mean, we can ring some of this stuff from down here, maybe, with this guy, like 1, 2... Yeah, I could ring the gold gong from down here by moving this guy over twice and then having him fire upward, and the fire will just transfer along through those other guys. Hold on a second. We can pop open some of this stuff, and I probably should. If we can't lava walk, I will say, that still makes accessing that fire elemental kind of weird, and also, like, what is even the purpose? Yeah, I don't know. But we should open up these blocks as best we can. So wait, is that the one that comes through the... Yeah, that's the one that comes through the lava walk. This puts us... Aha! Up here with a 5th note, which I did not see, but it's cool to get up here and hit it. And then out this side, we get these, which we should destroy. Okay. We're still not sure what happens if you hit 12 of one of these gem types either. So, I mean, there are still red gems to pick up. It might be the case that nothing happens, that you just need to get to 6, and that they've put extra puzzles in. So if there are some you can't solve, you still get there on the other ones, but I don't know. I wonder if you can shoot a fireball through... It's an interesting idea. I wonder if you can shoot a fireball through one of the portals. Okay, so like in theory, this should be... No, that's not what I wanted. This should be pretty doable, right? Hold on, I need you to be like over here. Okay. So we've got at least one of these green things we can remove trivially. I'm going to test this. The answer is yes, you can shoot a fireball through the portals. That's interesting. I don't know how much utility it has, but it's interesting. How would I hit the other ones? Well, if I can hit the brown, I can get over there and hit the gold. Right? Because the brown one is what's preventing me from just walking in. Alternatively, here, let me walk off screen and reset this real quick. Since we can now do that whenever we want. Alternatively, if I could just get an obsidian box into an appropriate position over here. Like, okay, what if we took that one box? I'm gonna need to push you like all the way out of the way. Took that one box that we had earlier and we move it to like... Okay, I'm gonna tell you, my plan was push it along here because I see we can work around this corner, right? Put it over here and then push it down into the lava there. And you're all obviously seeing what the problem with that is at this moment. I don't know how I thought I was going to be able to do that. And it is worth noting that I'm going to have to destroy this thing again in order to get access to the guys I need to shoot the blue gong. What is probably supposed to be a silver gong. It's probably supposed to be like bronze, platinum, silver. Or bronze, silver, gold. But how do we get to the bronze? It's going to be really hard to push an elemental through 1, 2, 3. Oh no, okay, I think I see it. It's going to involve the green portal, so I think we're going to have to do this thing again. Great work, me. Excellent, excellent job. Because we can push you up and through, hit that one, then go right, and then use your last fireball here. I can pop this, pop that, and then we can break this block. Okay, and now we've got this open. We don't actually benefit from playing it yet, so maybe all this effort was premature. We have most of the song. Although at this point I wonder if it will let me brute force it. Like if we just guess the last note. There's not really like a need to do that, right? So for the moment, let's just go play around with the statue puzzle. with the blocks broken, it'll be easy enough to make this work the way we need it to work when we have the last note. So I just need to keep an eye out for... I see it. Keep an eye out for nothing. Okay, we got the full song for the first time. The statue puzzle is going to have to wait a second. This is what I'm excited about now, and that is how my ADHD works. So, what I don't know is which note is which. So the blue is the lowest note, right? So like this one, that is the highest note, in fact. Blue was the lowest note on the other one, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't look like it is the lowest note here. Maybe it wasn't the lowest note before? Okay, so this is green. It seems like this was 2 up. So maybe we're looking at something else here. Okay, yellow. And then I think blue. Good work, me. Excellent job. No, blue is down. Blue is not the lowest note either. All right, so it's green then yellow. Then something on this side, I think. Where's orange? Okay, that's orange. So the next note is probably this one, which I'm not sure how to play. Let's see, I can push you out and you down, but this exhausts this person, and it's not even right. And then... oh, that's tricky. And then orange and yellow again, huh? Yeah. Okay. So the actual playing of the song is still a problem. Well, actually, no. So, since I don't need to play... what am I talking about? Since I don't need to play that lower peg, I will still have... it's yellow, then orange. Yellow, then orange. Green, yellow, orange. Yeah, it's not going to be a problem because I won't have had to spend a bunch of fireballs moving these guys. We'll go yellow, then orange, then red this side? No. Wait, is it the... did I just totally space? No, it's not that. No, I was right. It's not that either. So it is blue. I thought blue was off the... was one note up the staff. Yeah, it doesn't look right. Hold on a second here. Damn it. Yellow, orange. Green, yellow, orange. So green. Yellow, orange. And then there are 2 red pegs, and red is wrong, but blue is also wrong. Yeah, blue is also wrong. Neither of these are... well, no, the top part, the fact that the blue is not matching bottom with that note is what's got me a little confused, but it's because the bottom note, the bottom part of what looks like the note body is actually the staff, I guess. So this is a blue note because the bit that's dug in, the key, is correct. And then orange, yellow, and that's a song. Oh. Okay. Playing a song correctly gets you 3 stars. Well, I think I'm okay with just leaving then, and we can come back for other stars later. Sorry, leaving without doing the other star puzzles is what I'm saying. We are still going to attempt the statue thing. So, Purple goes in the bottom right corner. Red goes up there. Green is the one that's not even on the island. Blue is bottom middle. And then yellow is here and orange is here. Yep. Okay, so that's not right. What? Nope, that's not what I wanted. What if the green one's not touching the grid? Look, it's not here. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking now. Either this green one is actually present on the island somewhere and I'm still missing it. Or another version of that. If it were to be the case that it was like hidden somehow, what if one of the puzzle solutions reveals the presence of the green statue somewhere on the island? Because it not being on the island is clearly not the right answer. Yeah, I guess we'll have to do all of the puzzles on this island before we can say for sure. Once again, like, certainty is hard to come by. It's interesting that that's just like a hot water spring over there in the bottom left. I'm like looking at how I would reach that star down there. And I know I just said we don't actually need to solve the other star puzzles right this second. We can come back to this stuff later. But it is weird, isn't it? I want to have 4 boxes reserved. I don't know if there's a way to do this. Right, because the idea, you want to do this, right? Except this approach doesn't leave us with enough boxes. I guess, you know, if this is held down, actually. Yeah, I totally forgot that holding that down would make that accessible. And then I can soak up on this around from here. Nope, that's not shallow water. Fun. Well, I was kind of hoping that was walkable. Yeah, interesting. Interesting problem. Okay. So now that we're looking at this again, you know, I'm sticking to my gun singular here. We are not doing this. Get me back to my turtle. We are exploring other islands. We may have potentially opened up some possibility to do things on other islands that we couldn't do before. I don't know if there are other places where there are red blocks or where there will now be fire elementals. We certainly discovered some rock elementals in some new places after we did that. That thing, so... Also, we have a blue island where my guess is I do have the capability to get the blue power-ups. It's just I haven't figured out enough puzzles yet. That's a real bummer. I thought I was onto something there with that statue puzzle. Okay, I don't think we're gonna find anything new to do here, but just like verifying real quick. No, I don't see any like new elementals or anything. Okay. Unfortunately, again, it's just like an element of... Especially an element of this game being like power-based when some of the powers, some of the upgrades cause new puzzle elements that weren't visible before to appear in places. Like, it is going to be semi-frequently the case that we just have to go everywhere and see. I am curious, though. What is behind this gate up here? Before we do that, let's poke our heads in on little islands. Still can't interact with that in any meaningful way. So these sort of like pea green blocks. We have no idea where there is a thing that might interact with those. Right, because we haven't seen an island where that was the color of the upgrades or anything. Alright, neither of these are accessible. I wasn't expecting them to be. Okay, this gets us precisely one cool new island. And I suppose I do mean cool. Am I allowed to? Okay, I am allowed to map here. This is a real actual puzzle island. My assumption is when I press up on this, it's going to move me all the way up onto the spikes. Yup. Okay. We've been here before. I never did finish that very good crab puzzle game. It got super hard. Okay, what's your deal? Okay, you're a pushable block. How do you interact with things? Okay, you freeze over a pit, but only temporarily. How am I going to reach that? I would need to... How am I going to reach that? Because, like, this is not going to do it. Oh, I guess I see. We stand on this space here and go left. Yeah. Okay. That was good. That was worth doing. Probably, I guess. I don't actually know that. Okay, you can come down here. I definitely don't want to go up. This will let me get this box. So this place where things go until things go on ice until you stop them somehow. This is like a Sokoban classic, right? This is a thing that exists in most of these games in some form or another. It really doesn't feel like pushing this box to the right does anything useful for us. Am I just not seeing it? It allows me to... Like, pushing it upward seems not great. Oh, no, I see. Okay. Pushing it upward. And then coming up here allows us to get over this. Then we shove that into the hole, and then I can get over there. Which would be a really useful thing to do if I had hit the gong there, but I haven't. I think I'm gonna have to use this box to do so. How do I not die in my attempt to, I think I screwed this up maybe, because, like, that's obviously not very useful. And the answer, I think, is I need to push a box down onto the spike square on the bottom right there. Let me reset this. It might involve the box in the top right. Now that the puzzle up there is solved, we no longer... Well, it turns out we do still need that, don't we? Huh. Yeah, there's no way to get that box out of there in the first place. How did I think I was going to do this? Okay, you know what? Let us see what is this way. So we definitely have some more of these Some more of these little gemstones to grab. How am I going to ring that gong? We know how to ring the one gong. We just walk over here now that we got the green blocks out of the way. So dealing with this one is going to involve these tiles. You always slide all the way. But I guess that's not a big deal, right? As long as it blocks here. Oh, it makes temporarily walkable terrain as well. That's really useful. And not right this second, obviously. It's not the most critical thing in the world for us at the moment, but could be really useful. In a different situation. One that we're not currently in. Okay. And that goes in the hole. We get our first one of these, we destroy that block, and this screen is actually solved. Huzzah! That's some kind of large bird. Looks like a seabird. Am I going to be able to do this yet? At the moment, we have very few options here, actually, so I think the answer is no. That's probably fine. Let me head down here. So can I... Hi. Okay. Touching the bird causes it to fly you to a different place. Okay. I'm assuming that each one of these birds has a unique destination that it flies you to. Okay, it looks like the paths might be two-way. It might just be that one. Hey, look at that, free star. How would you be expected to deal with this? Because even if you push that thing to the right, the block that's on the right over here, you're not going to be able to... You could push it potentially like all the way down the stairs, but how are you going to get it off of the wall after you do that? I bet this is an elemental thing. There's going to be some new puzzle elements spawning in some places after we pick up enough items. Alright, if we go this way and then like this, I can make contact with the block, and then like, how do I make this work? How do I actually get this thing to push, get this thing to put traversable terrain or something in a position that's going to help anyone at all? I can do this now, but is that useful? Doesn't get me down there. And yeah, actually, like, this is another huge problem, obviously, was trying to get this thing down there. It turns out you can't push it down the stairs. Alright, well... Let's take the bird back up to that other slot, the other position there. And start messing around over here. I'm not going to stress too much about picking up the gems at the moment. Wait, I thought I would be able to... Yeah, I thought I'd be able to stop my movement there. So we would need to push this block into a hole to press the buttons for even a moment with our own bodies, but like, I don't see how that ends up with us getting through anywhere, because there isn't, there isn't a second object to hold the buttons down with. Oh hey, look who it is. And a seabird of a different color. How do I get into position to fall down there? So now the question is like, can I figure out a way? Yes, I can. Wait, can I? Yes, okay. Oh, here we go. We stand on this spot. Get up here. What I was going to say is, can I find a way to push this other block down to there? But you can't. It's against the wall. What are you doing? I can't do anything with this. This block is useless. In that case, was it helpful to push this other block down here? I guess so. I was thinking about trying to approach this spot here by hitting the block that's above us from the right and then pressing down. But actually, if we could find a way to push this block downward, that would be good enough. The obvious problem with that being that we cannot, in fact, find a way to push that block downward. We can pretty easily push it from the left. Pushing it from the bottom is not going to do anything right now. It's going to make the puzzle less solvable, not more solvable. Yeah, because I would really like to be able to open up those green blocks, obviously, and it would be cool to try to get near that lady again and have our one per island aneurysm. Gosh, I do feel like I'm really close to this. How would we ever set up elements that would let me do the thing I'm trying to do here? Let me leave the room and come back. And this is just a way of doing that lets us see some more stuff. It's actually not trivial to hit that lock. I was going to say we may as well go down there and spend a key to get rid of that forever for when we are approaching this puzzle from the bottom. But actually, I don't know how to do that. Stairs are right there, and yet they may as well be a billion miles away. So, if we could figure out a way to push... All I actually need to do is push this block downward. All the other elements of this puzzle could just be about setting up a thing that allows me to push this block that is to our right downward to form the wall that will let us get into the lower area. But actually, how would I even do that? What would have to occur for that to be viable? Well, I guess actually... If I could stack two boxes against the rock that I'm you know, on to the left, to the right of the block that I'm sitting on now, approaching them from the left would be an easy thing to do, and that would also let me get down there. And we know that we can set this one box up to get pushed into that position pretty easily, but it requires us to put another box into a position that it can never be pushed out of, which is a problem. Oh, okay, hold on. I think I see what needs to be done here. If I... Alright, how did we get over here earlier? Going up here, and then like this. Push this down to there. Get back over here and push this into the corner. And then by pushing this thing from this side to there, I can just reproduce the process, right? Sorry, go like this. And then push this down. And then there it is. And that allows me to fall off a cliff on purpose. Wait, before I go over here, I may as well kill that. Okay. And also this. And then do this thing. Oh, we actually managed to make physical contact with her this time. Probably due to the slip sliding. So this is quite different. And this is just what it's like the first time you hold hands with a girl you like. This is all normal. We've all experienced this bit. You're like, yeah, in this moment I feel like I could kill the giant void snake. No problem. Okay, she's gone. What's up, Big Bird? Okay. Well, obviously we are not prepared to be here. So we would have to hold down that button in the lower right if we wanted to access the medallion that would let us break blocks on this island. And obviously that would be like a hugely useful thing to do. Incredibly good. Out of curiosity, will this go over more than one hole? No, it will not. We've never seen an opportunity for that before, so thought it was worth checking. So if I push you up here and you cover that, then I can do this, and that is good enough, right? So now I should be able to just... Okay, that is by far the easiest we've ever been able to get one of those. And that means free gem for me. I don't know if it's just that like these puzzles make more sense to me or what, but that really did seem a lot easier than some of the other ones. How would I do this? Am I going to need one of the blocks from the other side? Well, there's no way I could get it over here anyway, because we're in a one tile wide passage. They'd be stuck against the bottom wall. Because obviously I can't push this left from here and then push it upward. I will be killed by spikes. And I can't push it upward and then push it left because there's a big fucking rock in the way. So... But I sure do need to get this box into that hole if I'm going to get that star. And also, somehow I would need for there to be a box... Wait a minute. How on earth would you ever get something to cover up the hole up here? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. There's some kind of shenanigans going on there. All right, so now that we have this, we might find it a lot easier to... we might find it a lot easier to produce solutions that will give us gems. I'm thinking... Okay, I have an idea. Let me put this back. If we do this thing in the other order, commit that one first. Slip around here. Well, I guess that's not trivial to do. What I was thinking is if I could push this downward... Basically, like, a box that is in the position below these two that has another box pushed into it from the left will create exactly the thing that we would need to stand against to press upward and grab that gem. But now that I'm really looking at it, it's not, it's not trivial, is it? Let me reset this. What else could I do? I could figure out a way to press right against the block by the stairs. Oh. Yeah, no, that's totally it, right? Because if we press the rightmost block to the left, it's sitting in exactly that position. So I think I just need to clear this out of the way, because otherwise I can't access this from the top. This is a little awkward, but I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, just get out of the way for a second. I don't need those stairs right now anyway. There we go. I think I do in fact have Sandy the Crab to thank for how easily I'm managing this. Oh, those rocks there are... Those rocks on that path right above us are diggable rocks, I think. Like, I think we can get through there with our climbing gloves. Or our climbing gloves. Our digging gloves, you know? The ones that are for that thing I just said. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my brain today? Okay, so I need to ring the silver gong before I have access to the gold gong. And also, the silver gong is the one that reveals that gem. So what are we going to do? Also, is this swirl of air here a thing? No, okay. It might be potentially a place where, like, an interactable spawns, right? Where, a place where, like, the wind elemental will show up once we have wind elementals. This doesn't seem like a very useful place to be. Hold on. Let me reset this screen. Now that we have actually removed that thing. I guess that didn't really help because I end up having to approach from this side anyway. Um, yeah, we can shove this across here and create a bunch of walkable tiles and then still get out of this area. That's probably pretty important. And then I can ring this bell. And now we can just walk over to the gong. Yeah, that seems that seems fairly critical. Question is, what now? How do I put myself in position to score the gem and the golden gong? Pushing this block upward does not feel like it accomplishes very much. Why would I want to do that? Oh, actually, never mind. Pushing this block upward will let me slide up against it and use it to clear the gong. But then how am I going to access the gem? Right, because like this is rad. But now what? I can do this again, but I can't actually get out of here. So we need to use these other cloud blocks somehow to set things up. But how? but what does that mean? Like, I can certainly get over here. If I don't push this up now, I'm going to lose the ability to push it later. Wait, maybe I want... No, they won't intersect. I was thinking if we push the block to it, the cloud block to the right, upward, not to the right of us, but to the right of that. If we push that one upward, then we could follow it, push the cloud block that's next to us left. But that doesn't do anything. That's not actually a helpful thing to do. Well, I guess the benefit that would have... This part's probably necessary. Or... Hold on a second. Hold on, maybe I want to do this now. Well, except this leaves me no way to push that cloud upward, which is what I want to do. Right, like it's easy enough for me to still get to the gong. But what I was thinking is if I could push this cloud upward, then we could walk up. Once we're over in the top left, clearing the gong, we could press right through that pedestal and get it wouldn't actually help. The problem is that we need the cloud to go up in the column that the brown block is in, so that there is a walkable space in front of the spike trap to catch us as we come over from the left. And I don't know how to engineer a situation like that. Because unfortunately, using the gong, and thus making it not important anymore, doesn't actually remove the gong. If we push the cloud block left now, it just gets stuck in the corner. Ooh, okay. Well, I guess one thing we can do that's kind of interesting is if I walk over here, press this up, push you left, and then wait, in my head this was gonna work, but now I don't know how. I had convinced myself that I was gonna be able to push this cloud block that is to our immediate right downward somehow. Because if we could do that and then press it to the left, obviously it would let us just have walkable tiles down there, enabling us to get to the crystal. But how did I think I was going to be able to do that? What was my plan? Obviously pressing it to the right is not very high utility at the moment. This puzzle is remarkably, like, still very difficult. We have not solved things at all here. There's no way for me to get onto... No, I just cannot figure out how to do anything useful here. Why, we can ring that, but I can't get access to either of the gems now. I can go down into the bottom left corner and die, or I can press right from here and die. Just jump when you're about to hit the ice. But you go up top. Being up there is not actually helpful. It lets me, like, get out of here in theory, but then I can't actually do anything other than die. Yeah, I don't know. That's like a very difficult puzzle, actually. I'm wondering if I'm screwing it up, like, really early on. I mean, at this point in the puzzle, it feels like there can't be any move other than push this cloud downward, right? If I go right, all I can do is go right and die. If I... Yeah, this is the only play right now. The question is, what do I give myself by not, like, what do we do now? I've opened up a lot of extra options now. Because, like, I could go hit the bronze gong right now. Right, press right from the tile 2 tiles below us. Go hit that. A thing that's worth noting is that if I do use both of the thatched tiles over there right now, as I have been doing to enable me to hit that gong safely, it becomes impossible to get the gem behind the gold barrier. So probably that's a thing I'm screwing up. But as things stand right now, there's no way to get the gong without doing that. What I would have to do is get into that bottom right corner myself, or if I push that to the right, so like I can leave some of this stuff in place, right? Leaving all of those spots in place means that when I come back here later, I will be able to grab that gem. Now I have literally no moves except press right. And now that I've done this, if I go up and hit the gong now, I will have to use the other thing to get out of the corner where I hit the gong. But we don't have to do that. We could just at this moment hit the stairs, right? The problem with that is if I hit the stairs, we can't. Hitting the stairs doesn't give me any new options. Once I'm over at the stairs, I'm just stuck again. So maybe, yeah, it feels like there's something about this I'm really not getting. Like, that seems necessary. What do you do in a situation where that's necessary? How do you have any moves left? Like, I'm feeling like we can get the lower left gem. It's the lower right gem now that I'm a little stuck on. So we're gonna have to push. After we bring the gong, we're gonna have to push to the right. So I guess there's no reason to spend the spaces to the right. Anyway. I guess that's not even true. I could push up and left. Yeah, using the 2 snow spaces to our bottom left, we can get back up into the top left part of the puzzle, and thus to the bottom left part of the puzzle without without needing to use any of the clouds or anything. And in fact, by doing it like this, I'm going to reverse this in a second, but by doing this, we can get the gem and then even get back out, all without having to consume any of the resources we have left to the right over there. Which means that I think our primary concern for the moment has to be figuring out a way to make it so that from this position, we can get back over to the right without dying. So I need to put a snow space somewhere or the block somewhere that's going to provide us with some safety. Sorry, I do want to do this. If I were... Okay, so if we push this block up right, or push this up right here. And then push this up. It's easy enough to create a bunch of snow spaces in that way. Then we have to use all of these to push this block into the path. From which I can come over here. You can push this down. And then we're going to end up with almost all of our resources in unrecoverable positions. How dangerous is that? I mean, it's not awesome. All right, we do this thing. Oh, actually, I maintain the blue gem that the gem that I picked up. We don't even have to. That's interesting. Then I can use, if I can use this block to get this works, right? Now I need to get down to the bottom. And the cloud blocks are in positions where they will create, they will allow me to create. Yeah. Because we push it up like this. This thing goes in the hole. We grab the gem. We walk out, and we are at 5 of 6. We're actually like right there. So we saw stars and keys over here. There's also a blue block that's crushable. So I think I want to use this bird to get out of here. Oh, okay. Thanks, friend. Just drop me on the inside of the puzzle. I'm not going to stress too much about this right now. We are going to smash this block and just see what's what. Okay, complicated puzzle for some key and star noise. I'm just kind of like looking around for an easy gem. I know we're at the hour, but y'all, we're so close to having another big power up, right? I can't just abandon it. Where the hell are the rest of the gems? Okay, well, this is probably helpful. It's not really what I'm looking for right at this second. Where do you take us? Okay, gems. I love gems. Was that a useful thing to do? Hold on. Let me try to figure out what the heck I'm doing in this puzzle before I commit to that kind of movement. So it is not going to be possible to push this wood block right next to us, the one right below us, leftward, right? There's no way for us to stop on the tile to its left. There is a way to stop on the tile below it, which is interesting. Right, because I could do like this. I can press this over to the right, which is probably what I have to do. And then we can do this to get it down here, and then this lets us bring it kind of into the puzzle. But the problem with this is, like, I don't know what to do with it from there. So I'm going to leave it right here for the moment. Oh, no, actually, this lets me push it onto the button, because now I can hit it from below onto the thing. That's probably useful. Okay. And then we... wait, how do I have to get up to here so that I can press down from this tile specifically so that we can go left. But this does not allow me to enter the puzzle at all. It just slides me all the way across the map. Yup. Okay. Well, pushing the wood block down here is not going to do anything with that either. I guess for the moment we'll just take our lumps here. This seems like it might be useful. Okay. So now I can toggle those. Did I want to do that before pushing this other one down the stairs? Probably not, right? Oh, right, but the ability to push that down the stairs is kind of contingent on that other block being in place. So what is this? What does this box do? I guess the answer is nothing. It's never movable. You press this down and then this just becomes unpushable from every side in a different way. Okay, I can jump down. And then we can do this thing, right? No, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Please don't eat me. Oh, right. Except this is not as doable without that other box in place. There is an ordering problem here that is actually like... Yeah, no, that's tricky. Well, we do something else with this, though. I can use it to try to... See, unfortunately, this is only useful for getting us to the place where we could press right, which doesn't do the thing I need. All right, I'm going to set myself back up here. So, okay. I think I don't want to push down that block just yet. I want to come down here. Oh, right. I forgot that I would be able to do that. You can, like, body drop on that box to destroy it. That's really interesting. But we're going to come up here and fetch this now because with the... Actually, this isn't how I want to do this. With the peg, that third sort of bollard up there still up, putting this in place is going to allow me to destroy this green block, which I think is necessary for the puzzle overall to be solvable. Now, in order for us to get the gems, this is going to have to be held down, or at least that one gem. Yeah, that's going to have to be held down, but I think I also needed that staircase available. Or, wanted at least that staircase available. So there's no way... There's no way for me to get over and begin manipulating the position of the wood block on the right with the green switch still up, right? If I were to destroy this block, I wouldn't be able to get over there anymore. But I do need the green blocks to be in the other position from the one they're in now to actually put the block onto the brown switch. Brown and orange are very similar colors in this palette. Try to figure out how true all that is. I think it's true. I think it's true. So, like, is the idea that I do most of the positioning here? The real question is, how would I get back over, right? if I do some positioning of this block, then I go back, climb the stairs, which I can't even do, and then destroy this thing. Like, how am I going to get... All right. This is necessary right now for me to put this wood block in the position next to it. I think that absolutely has to happen. And you can't do it by just pushing this box down. You have to do it through this like longer and more complicated method here. Okay. Push that over there. Now that that's over there, it is once again useful for me to for me to take stuff off the green switch. So actually, I don't think I want to push this block down yet. Or rather, we can put it here, but I don't want to actually put it on the switch. I hope that this is not too frustrating to watch. I hope that the way I'm approaching this makes sense. I'm like sort of figuring it out one step at a time. So okay, we bring this around here. Now that this is in position, we can use this thing, this bollard being up, to let us get back up here so that we can, at this point, I think we want to put it down. Trying to figure out like what exactly is my plan from here, because we're going to drop this and that's going to give us the ability to access the second gem over there. But in order to access the first gem, which we are going to have to do, we have to drop the other things. I'm trying to figure out how we manage that safely. How do I get the brown switch held? Right? Because I can do this. And then I can come down here. And if the brown switch were held... Well, hold on. We don't actually want the green switch down. Right. That's probably a hint. I can just push this down the stairs, right? I cannot, no. So how would I, from this point, get this box onto the brown switch? I can push it all the way over to here and push it down, but it's gonna land on the ice down there and it's gonna slide all the way down, right? Yeah, so that's no good because that just puts two boxes next to each other, which is never helpful. If I come down here first and move this, I can use the stairs to get back up here. Huh. Why is this good to do? How is this helpful? I don't think it is the real honest answer to that question. Really wish we could just push it down the stairs. Because if we push this down here, like, what do I get out of that? Now I just have 2 blocks that are trapped against the bottom of the thing, right? If I were to... There's no way to get this block here, the one that's currently against the bottom of the map, 1 space over to the right so that it could like catch this block and prevent it from sliding all the way into the bottom position. And even if there was, it wouldn't necessarily be helpful, because then all I could do with the block from there is push it to the right and get it wedged into a corner. Yeah, there's still an element of this that I am not getting. And that is a shame, because I really want one more gem. It would be super cool to have one. I can fire these temporarily, and we could use that to like destroy a box in a situation, but I don't know what the useful situation would be there. If this was still held down, hold on. There is absolutely no way to move either of these blocks in that position. Like, we for sure absolutely do have to... We for sure absolutely do have to destroy that. In order to make any further progress. I'm not saying that that's solution stuff, because I don't know for sure that this puzzle is in a solvable state right now. I may have made some incorrect moves earlier. It's looking to me like I must have, I think. Because I really don't see how you would get from here to a solution. Ah, that's a bummer. I really pushed the time on this episode because I was hoping that I was so close. All right. I think that's going to have to be where we leave it for today. That's it for us. Thank you all so much for watching. This felt like a very progressful episode. We got the ability to destroy another kind of block. And we are so close to awakening another kind of elemental. And then we just have to go back to the Blue Island and actually figure that stuff out. And then who even knows what? I have no idea how much game is left. So come back next time to help me find out. And we'll see you then.